Hi, this is my rough draft for my choosing your own adventure story. What I'll be doing today is basically explaining my first day as an intern and as my basically my trip towards Generation Justice, sort of in a dramatic way. And for my final draft, I believe that I'll be putting I guess video clips in the back instead of it just being a style PowerPoint. So I'll be putting videos in the back of actual Generation Justice, and if I can find it, I'll be putting video clips of my time at Generation Justice that I took myself on my G7X. So I'll just get started right away. Okay. At South Valley Academy, a requirement we had is that we had to do community service each year. My freshman year, I volunteered to help out my old elementary school, Barcelona Elementary School. In your sophomore year, you have to find a nonprofit organization in order to complete the class. My teacher offered me the opportunity to join Generation Justice, a nonprofit organization that is dedicated for the empowerment of youth of color and social justice. I always had a deep, tenacious desire for social justice as well as social equality. I feel like everyone is unique and that it makes each and every one of us beautiful. So when my teacher offered this as a destination for my site, I immediately accepted it and was excited yet nervous at the same time. My nervousness came from knowing I will be the only one that will be going there, meaning I will have to learn everything on my own. And as a sophomore, I was even more afraid because I was an underclassman on a college campus, alone. The journey to Generation Justice was more of the same feeling. That feeling of fear and anxiety. When I got on the bus, I knew it would take a long time to drop me off, but what I did not know is that I would be the final person to be dropped off to their site, which was terrifying in its own right. On the bus, I had friends, but the one thing that was stuck in my mind was how I should act and what I should say when I get to Generation Justice. This was stuck through the entire journey on the bus ride. After getting off the bus, the friends I did have on the bus all went one way. They went the exact opposite way I went. This was the final parting. And this was the time when your own journey started. When my own journey started. When heading towards Oñate Hall, I noticed a bike rack that had a tire of a bike. I could tell that the lock was still on the bike, meaning that this bike once belonged to a bigger portion of a bike, which means it was stolen. As assessing the situation, I approached the older building. Seeing college students who looked at me weird made me uncomfortable, and I felt like I didn't belong there. Finally, when reaching the door, I noticed that there was a speaker, as well as a passcode lock, meaning I could not get in until someone comes out or someone comes into the building. I then saw an older man approach, who then opened the door but doubts my belonging to the building. I then spoke up for myself, and I told him I was looking for Generation Justice. After this, he let me in and told me the way. It was go forward, take a right, then a left, then a right, and that is where the elevator is. As I passed, I saw that there was 2 vending machines, both much older than me. It seemed to have older snacks than I had ever heard about, and some of them were even expired. As I took my first left, I noticed that all the rooms had their doors wide open. I passed the first 2 rooms with nobody in sight. In fact, the whole building seemed empty. As soon as I reached the elevator, a man comes out, who did not look friendly, and stares me down as I enter the elevator. When looking at the buttons, I noticed that GJ had its own level, level 2, as well as KUNM, level 3. When first entering the elevator, I did not notice this, so I pressed level 3. When entering level 3, you are met with a bunch of KUNM staff. This KUNM staff automatically looked me down. They noticed that I did not belong there. Most of them were in their mid-30s to late 50s. I felt as if I had made a big mistake, and I automatically went back into the elevator and pressed level 2, where I now saw that GGA's panel stood. I pressed it, and when going down, the lights flickered, as well as the elevator screeching and hissing, seeming unstable. When I finally got to the level, I walked through the hall to finally find Kateri Zuni, who greeted me with a smile. I was still nervous, but when I saw that all the people there were smiling, I felt comfortable, and finally, I felt accomplished. Thank you. This is the final part of it. In my hopefully in my final draft, it'll be more defined and I guess better. But I'll be adding more, videos and clips, so it's more interactive, and hopefully I can make it longer. And yeah.